leg of our discussion segment because we know you be no brofu mukakra because Hon Alban Bagbin for Hon Alban Bagbin ewa or ye member of parliament for Nadoli West na you can Ghana politics there you be a nimdi or politics for Ghana and there e was ropa 2020 presidential elections I be cause for Ghana no or see NDC Frank and person onu no kra Frank and any bet chunkomo e found the NT of say onu bet me LED NDC mo met me any 2020 election or a second deputy speaker of parliament or say a former minority leader 2005 to 2009 former majority leader 2009 to 2010 former minister of water resources works and housing 2010-2012 former minister of health 2012-2014 tieka politics for Ghana had here wa wonim honorable Bagbin and let's say uno be a follow politics on na and na pay yen saka na person na chichon komo kakra na say meka no e be ka obrofo na mre sem no mesa adane aba kan kasa mama amantimi anti ase no so money and anti na so money airflow honorable you're welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
So what brought you to Kumasi? I hear you've been in Kumasi for some time now. What is the reason why you're in Kumasi?
Well, thank you very much. I came for a number of reasons. The first was to support my colleague, the Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, to do a mini rally at his constituency. After that, I decided to be part of the celebration of the marriage, I think the second time, of one of our members, Honorable Ras Mubarak, which was very splendid.
When you say the second time, does it mean the second marriage or, I don't know?
Oh, the first marriage fell through.
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah.
So he has to remarry.
Okay.
Okay. The third one is to honor an invitation by the Ashanti Regional Students Association to assist them celebrate their annual week. And the fourth one is to touch base with my party to see how the registration exercise is going and how we could ginger them up to commit themselves to make sure that the success, the registration is a success.
Okay.
That's why I'm still here.
Okay. And I hear that at the rally you indicated that you want to lead the NDC in the 2020 election.
Well, I don't usually fail to take advantage of these opportunities to give that indication. And so it's really my commitment to do that. But it depends on the good people of my party. But I'll offer myself prepared to serve the party and my country.
But I have listened to some members of your party, especially Mr. Kofi Adam. He's the national organizer of your party. I think that the first time that we heard that you want to contest the 2020 elections, he came out to say that some of you are jumping the gun. He mentioned your name and he mentioned Sylvester Mensah's name, and he thinks that the time is not up for you to be declaring your intention to contest on the ticket of the NDC.
Well, we haven't filed any paper. We haven't launched our campaigns. It's just a declaration of an intent to do so. But you realize that he's the lone voice, you know, in the wilderness, I must say, talking that way. It was the program we put in place as a party is to do reorganization. And that's the focus of everybody. But reorganization is likely to end in September. And then the presidential primaries will be in December. How many months will be left for any other person to try to contest if His Excellency the President decides to contest? And so it's important you take advantage of these situations to let people know that you harbor that intention and that at the end of the day you'll be contesting. There's nothing wrong with that. So
what gives you the conviction that you'll be able to lead the NDC to unseat the MPP? Looking at some of this, and I use the word advisedly, some of the developmental projects and some of the programs that the MPP wants to roll out getting into the 2020 election.
Well, if there has been projects or infrastructure, I think His Excellency John Dramani Mahama would have won the elections. That is not the main focus of Ghanaians. We need infrastructure, yes, but there are many more things that you have to do to be able to get the Ghanaians renew your mandate. I think the MPP is falling short of those expectations.
Now, what are the
A lot of
expectations?
things. One, definitely you need to have peace. You need your security. You want to be safe. You don't want to have fear in you. But as we are today, I don't think anybody feels safe in this country. And the Reverend has stated it clearly that once many Ghanaians are not safe, he himself is not safe. As I move around myself, I don't feel safe. Okay? Because look, there's breakdown of law and order. And even the security agencies are under attack. It's not only the police, even the military. And so there's something that is going wrong, and it has changed the complete character of Ghana. People know Ghana to be a peaceful place that you could come and walk till midnight and you have nothing to fear. These days, by 6 o'clock, we rural folk, we're rushing inside to sleep because you don't know what will happen to you outside. And as you try to sleep, you're also afraid that the armed robbers will not come on you. And so that is the basic requirement of any society that wants to develop. I think my colleagues in government have missed out in this.
Okay.
Okay? Apart from that, cost of living. If you pitch the cost of living now against what they promised, you will see that there is a wide gap. And so many people are suffering. On daily basis, you hear transport owners, taxi drivers crying over the cost of fuel. Their promise was to reduce it and not to increase it. It's being increased now at levels that is beyond human imagination. It used to be done publicly, now it's done secretly. And it's telling a lot on the pockets of many Ghanaians. Apart from that, you can see even the way the government started by going in for an elephant-sized government, okay? In spite of their symbol, it's unheard of. They're beating the record. I don't know of any country that you have 110 ministers and deputy ministers, okay? Once you have this mob government, you're definitely going to have
You call it a mob government?
Oh, yes. The numbers are incredible. I have not failed to use that term. This is not the first time I'm using it. I think that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will have serious difficulty in managing that large team. And so I'm not surprised that from time to time he comes out to say he's not aware of what is happening in the government. Definitely, you cannot be aware of what each member of the mob is doing. You understand? And so there's a big problem, and the Ghanaians are really worried. And they think that unless he changes, they will change him. Well, we finished 1 year. We're entering 2018, the second year. He's coming to Parliament tomorrow to deliver his message on the state of the nation. We'll see what he's going to say. But don't forget that there's always vast difference between what we say and what we do. Okay. Okay? And that's why I keep on hammering home that it's important that as leaders, as politicians, we try to claw back the trust that the people have lost in us. Because there's usually a wide gap between what we say and what we do. And now people think that politics is about falsehood, not the truth. Okay. And so we need to focus on the truth. Tell exactly what you can do, and then let the people know why you cannot do what they are expecting. It's very important, because as leaders, we don't produce. It's the followers who do. We lead in taking the decisions, and they lead in the implementation. And so when they lose confidence and trust in you, it's very, very difficult to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay.
Well, let's say that point a little longer. So what in your view is your assessment of the MPP's government for the 1 year that they've been in office?
Well, at one station, I remember giving them 40%.
40%?
Yes. I still stay by it.
40%?
Oh, yeah, they failed.
Why 40%?
Oh, well, I mentioned some of them. Okay. But even when you are reviewing your newspapers, you can get a sense of what is happening. Okay? Our friends have been struggling to debunk this cash for seats, incident. But because they came too late, as a result of the usual numbers that are referred to, the deputy minister had already come out to give an indication that it did happen, because he signed the letters, okay, the deputy minister for trade and industry. And so by the time the minister and the president came out, his was already in the public domain. And so the evidence has shown that yes, there were some charges. The charges were that colossal. That money, government is struggling to say it did not go to government, but it went to a private foundation. I don't know how a private foundation could go through government to get government to issue letters officially signed by a deputy minister, and then to get the money and put it in the hands of the private foundation. These are very difficult to believe. But these are some of the things that is completely ebbing away the confidence that the people had in the leadership of Nana. And I think that you have to sit up.
No, but you see, the people have also been talking about some of the programs that the government has started. The free senior high school, for instance, planting for food and jobs. I think at last check, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture said that they've been able to employ about 750,000 people. Talking about fall in the interest rate and other microeconomic indicators that you want to talk about. And all these sum up to indicate that at least the government is getting somewhere with the economy and its management of the economy. Why? They have issue with the 40%. They think that 40% is below average and doesn't match up to some of the things that we are seeing.
You see, the ultimate goal of our educational system, particularly the senior high school, is to have free senior high school.
Yes.
But the framers of the Constitution, in their wisdom, looked and assessed at the process of implementation. And they thought it wise that it's important that we do it progressively because of the magnitude of the problem. The time is not ripe for us to roll out totally the concept of free senior high school. I will always maintain this. Because we are jumping the gun, the cost to the nation is completely colossal. It's an unnecessary waste. And I think that the government will have to reconsider the implementation of the free senior high school. I know His Excellency.
So when in your estimation should we have started the free senior high school education?
Oh, we need a few more years to be able to put in place the right infrastructure, to be able to get in place the requisite human resource needs, to be able to look at the management of the schools so that we can strengthen and booster them, to be able to also complete the free, or I should say the FQ, for short, the FQ. We haven't completed the implementation of the FQ.
No.
And so if the basic, the real basic is not fortified, and you are jumping to the middle level, the second cycle, which they now want to add to the basic.
So the foundation is very weak. Yeah?
It's very weak. And so we had to do that. And don't forget that a lot of people have also invested in the second cycle education by putting in place senior high schools. Okay? The policy has led to the loss of jobs of over 10,000 according to that sector of our economy, because many people rushed into the free senior high school, the public schools, because that one you will not be paying. But people are not looking at the other side.
The private
are we talking about quantity or are we talking about quality? So the private schools are almost extinct now. They are dying off. And that investment will go to waste. They'll have to rethink as to what to use those structures for. But the individuals that have lost their job will be struggling to get employment. And you know the unemployment situation in the country. Okay? So there are a lot that is not being said to Ghanaians. But I have met the various players, I have listened to them, including the heads of the various senior high schools. And I'm sure that even this afternoon, when we meet the students' body.
Okay.
This is one of the issues that they will be hammering home, whether it's really ripe for us to implement it, whether the implementation is smooth, whether we are going to benefit from it, or there's a need for us to relook at it. You are not surprised that there are so many uprisings in the schools.
When you say relook at it, what exactly do you mean by relook at it? Because there's been some talk around town to the effect that people are expressing some fears that when, for instance, the NDC wins the 2020 elections, chances are that they will scrap the free senior high school education.
You see, when you are a leader, you have to be realistic. There's no government that will come and scrap it. But as I said, there's a need to relook at it. Let me just cite an example. It's not everybody who is not in the position to pay for his word in the senior high school. And so why waste money on people who are prepared to pay? Even some people send their children outside because they are not even sure of the quality of education in Ghana and they are able to pay in dollars. Why offer them free? Okay? That you have to look at. Apart from that, in the educational sector, there are a lot of stakeholders involved. The state definitely leads, and the state is represented by government. Apart from that, you have the community where the school is located. They have a role to play, and they have been playing those roles. Apart from the community, you have the parents.
Okay.
They have the role to play. And then you have the students. They have the role to play. Don't forget the effect of free, free, free. At the end of the day, when everything you get is free, you will not know how to yourself struggle to get things for yourself. And that is why there's been that statement that what? Can you recall the old statement? Pound, wise, penny, food. Okay. Okay?
So you are looking at quality after the students have gone through the system.
Exactly. What we need in the country is quality education. It's not free education. And there are ways of doing that. There are a lot of the costs that government could absorb, but there are some areas that parents and the communities could assist. For example, school management, which is very, very critical in getting the students to learn. The school management is very important. A number of countries have experimented it. And focusing on school management alone has led to the production of quality students. And so we need to relook at the whole concept. There's nothing wrong with biting the bullet, but you must bite the bullet carefully, not recklessly. Because the bullet, if you bite it wrongly, it could blow your whole face off. Now let's talk about the agric. Okay, agric. I listened to the minister. Okay. And it's interesting to say that if, as a farmer, I recruit for farm hands, that is employment, and so that is counted. Very interesting to hear the minister say such things. Well, the sector players, that is the agri sector players themselves, have raised issues about the number. And they've called for an investigation. People don't believe that what he said is true. He's even talking about employing 5 million more. Okay? Ghana has a population of about 30 million. And if we have already some millions in the sector, and they are going to recruit 5 million more, we may be having about 10 million or more in the sector. We are being told that the sector is being modernized. And if you are modernizing the sector, you don't need
you take away the human intervention.
Exactly. So these are just contradictory statements. And so we have to usually be cautious. You know, you don't mislead the people to believe that you're doing something when you are not doing it. But let's talk about.
But if you have a problem with the 750,000. Which figure do you think have been employed, or you don't have any figure? Because we can't just dispute the figure and not come up with any figure.
It's not me. It's the sector players, those who are with him in the sector, who are disputing it. I'm just relying on them as a credible partner to be able to tell us what is on the ground. I'm not in the sector. I used to farm. Okay. But let me tell you that the problem of farming in Ghana is not about production. No. We produce a lot, but post-harvest losses. We lose a lot because there's sometimes very difficult for you to get to the markets. You see, when you go to the rural areas, how cheap food is. When you come to the city, very expensive. Yeah. There's something wrong. So we have to look at the food chain and see how we can improve on that. It's not a matter of production. Okay. I have farmed cassava, maize, and many other things. I'm into mango plantation now. They get rotten on the farms. Huh? Oh, you don't believe it. We have to sell the crops in the farm, okay, to the market women. And they buy it at incredibly low prices. They don't pay you to. It's only when they harvest and sell that they come to pay. And you struggle to get your money from them. It's not easy. And so it's not encouraging to produce more. And we have to look at that place first. Production is not the problem. We can always produce. Okay. But how do you get it to the final consumer? That is the problem. Now let's talk about the economy. You know, there are models that you can adopt. You understand? You can decide that you're not going to spend. You will not invest. 1 year you can decide that I will not take any major road work. I'll just do maintenance. And so you spend little money. Yeah. There will therefore not be much money in the system to be chasing the few goods so that you have inflation rising. So inflation will come down. Okay? You can also decide that this time around, instead of me going out to do a lot of investment, don't forget that the promises they made about one village, one dam, one district, one factory, nothing happened last year. But they said they are setting up the authorities, and I think that the authority, I don't know whether the paper has been brought before you in Parliament. Said they are setting up the authorities, and once that is done, beginning of this year, they will start rolling out those policies. Yes, they have not brought any document to Parliament yet, but I'm aware that they say they are establishing the structures. They are trying to put the foundation in place. But that meant that there will be no expenditure. Yeah. And so you can hold on to the expenditure and you can bring those figures down. You constrict the economy, and then once you are not expanding the economy, the figures will look good. Immediately you start investing and spending more, the figures will change. Okay. And so this is their first year, and they'll be able to do that. But as we go along, we will see whether they will still be able to maintain those figures. Okay. You see? So there are many areas. If you look at the health sector now, the growth has plummeted. If you look at the ICT, it came down from over 20% to below 7%. I think the last time was 5.7%. This year we don't know what figure they will use. And so a lot is being done just to try to cool down the temperature of the economy. And that is why we are getting the very good figures. I disagree with the minister